Okay, so good evening. I'm going to try something a little bit different with this knife modification video, and I'm going to start off with showing you the knife before I make any changes to it, and then I'm going to do a video of the process as I go along and talk about what I'm doing and what I'm trying to achieve and so forth. So first off, I'll start by showing off this knife. This is a Grayman Dua, D-U-A is the name, Grayman, G-R-A-Y-M-A-N. It's a smaller knife, about a 3.5-inch blade. I bought this knife specifically to modify, try out some ideas that I have. So I'm going to show you the knife ahead and then talk about the changes that I'm going to make, and then I will show you the process along the way. So this is a pretty straightforward basic knife, 2 slabs of titanium, 1 on each side. It is an S30V steel blade. I'm probably going to leave the blade stock. I toyed with the idea of etching the blade, but probably won't. At least that's not in the plan at this point in time. Just going to change the handles for now. It's a fairly beefy folder. It's got some pretty thick titanium slabs, some standoffs, which right now everything on the knife is just a stone-washed, natural titanium silver finish. Okay, so what's the plan? Sometimes you go into a knife mod and you don't really have a specific plan, just have some ideas. But I think I got a pretty good idea, pretty good plan of what I want to do. So here's the thought: we are going to do a 2-color on this one. I am going to, the end result will be blue on the inside of each slab, blue on the edges, blue in the little pocket cutout here, bronze on the flats. Then we're going to stone wash it, which will remove some of the color. Then we are going to put down a very light bronze in the specks that get removed by the stone washing. So I think it's going to end up looking pretty neat. Oh, and then we'll do, since the inside of the slabs will be blue, we'll do darker bronze on the standoffs to match the dark bronze here on the flats. But I wanted to show you a before video of the knife. I might end up uploading this in different parts. We'll see how long it ends up being, but I'm going to put you guys on pause and I'm going to disassemble the knife. Okay, so we got the Grayman taken apart. Got our bowl of parts here that we'll keep in a little container here so we don't lose anything. We got our 2 main players here, our 2 slabs of titanium. So what I'm going to do next is I am going to give them just a quick dip in acid to remove any surface oxide layer that they probably have on them, which would mess up the anodizing color. So we'll do a quick dip in the acid, then into the anodization tank we go. So these are going to be blue. Oh, forgot to mention, I am going to put some duct tape on the detent and the lock face to protect that, because we don't want those getting anodized or have the acid do anything to those. So we'll do that and we'll be back. Okay, so we've got our first slab we're going to work on. We got our hydrofluoric acid, and we are going to dip this slab in there. I'm not going to leave it in there for very long, because all we're trying to do is take the oxidation layer off the titanium and make sure it's good and clean before we do our anodization. So here we go. That's long enough. And in the water. Okay. So we're going to go from the water. We're going to swish it around a little bit. We're going to go straight into the anode tank. Okay, so now we've got our slab sitting on the little shelf in the tank. I've already pre-adjusted the power supply to 24 volts, which should give us a really nice blue color. So all I have to do is push the power button and you can watch the magic. Here we go. And power. And there's copper, bronze, and there is our blue. And we're letting the voltage settle down. That's pretty good. Turn it off. Let the voltage dissipate. And we have a blue handle. So we'll take it out and we'll go back into plain water because that tank has water with sulfuric acid in it. So this is just plain water over here. So we'll swish it around. You'll notice I'm using rubber coated heavy duty chemical resistant safety gloves. And so we'll take this out. We'll move it over to the bench and we'll take a peek. Dry it off. And we have a seriously blue handle. Came out very nice. Okay, so we're going to do this one next. You'll see I've got some duct tape on the covering the detent ball and the lock face. And I found the duct tape works just fine. It doesn't interfere with the acid or the electrical voltage in the tank. It works just fine. So we'll do this handle and then we'll come back. Okay, so we have two blue handles. So now what I mentioned was what we're after here is I only want the back to be blue. I don't want this front slab here is going to be bronze. And I'm going to leave this pocket blue. I'm going to leave the top blue and the back blue. But I want the flat here to be bronze. Same thing goes for here. This whole front flat will be bronze. Back's going to be blue. Sides are going to be blue. So we have to take the blue off the flats here. A couple different ways I can do that. I could use sulfuric acid and just rub it on there. I could sand it with a sander. I could sand it by hand. I can use a Scotch-Brite pad to get rid of it. So I'm probably leaning towards using the Scotch-Brite pad and doing this by hand right now. So I'm going to give this side's going to be a little tougher given the lock face and all that. So I'm going to work on this one first. And I think I'm going to give this a Scotch-Brite try. And we'll see how it goes. So we will be back. Okay, so here is the next step in the process. So we have, as I was saying, we have a back to stock, or sorry, a natural color titanium on the flats, blue in the lower, blue on all the way around the edges, and blue on the back. And next step is we're going to make this bronze. Same thing with this one, natural color there, blue on the back, blue on the sides. So we're going to give it a quick dip in the acid, real quick, because we don't want to take off the blue. And then we're going to put them in for a copper, we'll call it a dark bronze. We'll be back. Okay, so we're back on the Grayman Dua mod, and apologize I wasn't able to do a video of all the different steps that I took to get here, because ended up making a few changes to a few things and the approach that I was taking. One of the things that I did is I wasn't happy with the stones that I was using in my tumbler, so I ordered new stones. These are the new stones. Ordered these off of eBay. I like the finish that these stones are getting a lot better. These were the stones I was using before. These were from Harbor Freight. I'll take one of these out of here so you can see the difference between the old stones and the new stones. So that's what the old stones I was using look like. You can see they were quite a bit bigger, quite a bit thicker. So I'm not using these anymore. I'm now using these. I ordered these. These are much smaller, and they have a lot more points on them, and they fit into the Harbor Freight tumbler really well. And I ordered all those for about 16 bucks. Fills it about a little less than halfway, which is about what you want actually, so that's pretty good. So here's the result of the work on the Grayman. As you may recall from the previous video, I was going for the backside blue and the front side bronze, which is exactly what I wanted. So the way that I got here was I anodized the entire thing blue, and then I used sandpaper to eliminate the blue on the flats here. Then I anodized the entire thing bronze, and for those of you who know about anodization, bronze is a lower voltage than blue, so it doesn't actually do anything to the blue. It leaves the blue alone. So then I threw this in the tumbler, and I tumbled it for about 20 minutes, both of them. Then I threw it back in the anodization, did another bronze, which fills in the silver with bronze, which is why you end up with a bronzy blue on the back, because every time you're tumbling, you're eliminating the blue, and then in its place when you anodize again is bronze. So what we have here on these is 3 passes. So tumble 20, redo the bronze, tumble 20 for another 20 minutes, redo the bronze. And so what's kind of nice is that the finger relief here it retains a lot of blue, because since it's recessed, the stones don't get in there as much. So you'll notice that there's a little bit of bronze mixed in there, because you do get some stones, but it retains a lot of the blue, which I think looks really nice. This is the finish that you get with those small stones. So you can see that's exactly the kind of finish I was hoping to achieve. Very aggressive, little tiny scratches. And then of course the blue stays in all the recessed areas because the stones don't get in there. I still got to do a little bit of cleaning, get that white stuff out of there. But and then same thing goes here. I'll clean this out. These will look really bright blue because the stones don't get in there. And then the stones, it's still a little blue on the edges, which is nice, and then it'll be really blue in here. So that is the plan. And the blade right now I've left stock silver. I may end up doing an etch on this and dark etch on this and a retumble, but I don't have time to do that tonight. So if I do it, it'll be over the weekend. But I'm going to go ahead and clean these scales up, get some of that junk off of there, and then I'm going to reassemble the knife, and it'll stay this way for at least the next week or so. Try it out with the stock silver blade, and then decide if I want to etch this bleed. But I'll do another video here in a minute showing you guys what this thing looks like all put together. Thanks. Okay, here's the finished knife all reassembled. For now, leaving the hardware silver. I left the pocket clip silver. Got a few scratches on it. I might redo the stone wash on this clip, but not going to worry about it for tonight. That's the back side. You can see, as I was talking about before, the blue really coming through on the indented area there on the top as well. See, it came through on the finger grooves there. And it's a really dark bronze, which is great. That's what I was shooting for. And funny thing is, it gets bluer with oil from your fingers. So that's kind of neat because it gets closer to this color the more you handle it. So there you go. That is a customized Grayman Dua in a two-tone bronze, dark bronze, and blue. This is blue, the inside's blue, the edges are blue tumbled mixed with some bronze, and then you got some blue highlights. I didn't do anything with the standoffs, left those silver as well. Figured some of the silver theme would carry through from the blade to the hardware, to the standoffs, to the pocket clip. So you end up in essence with a tricolor knife. Silver, blue, and bronze with a pretty aggressive stonewash finish. There you go. Thank you.